There's a hunger and a desire to win, but there's also something that's very poised and calming about doing it at home with the people that you love and the people that you want to go to battle with every single day.
The Indiana Fever were the focal point of the women's basketball community on Monday, as they have been for the majority of the 2024 WNBA season. This resulted from a number of endearing moments between Stephanie White and the three Fever players in attendance, Caitlyn Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Lexi Hull, during the press conference that officially named White the team's new head coach. Why, therefore, is now the ideal moment for you to go back to Indiana? I can't think of a better way for the stars to align. As you may imagine, the Fever also had some adjustments when they left and had a variety of other coaching experiences developing, maturing, and learning. When you consider back-to-back Rookies of the Year and what each of those players have accomplished up to this point for their universities in the game of basketball, you can see that basketball has reached a new level in the WNBA and for the Indiana Fever. That being able to return and work with another 22 players such as Caitlyn Clark and Aaliyah Boston is definitely noteworthy. It's never been done before. Caitlyn Clark was equally eager to begin, working alongside Stephanie White, who was the new coach of the Indiana Fever. At a press conference held at Gainbridge Fieldhouse on Monday, where White was formally introduced as the team's new head coach, Clark lavished her with praise. Clark told reporters, "We know how much of a legend she is in Indiana," according to ESPN. That's extremely awesome, in my opinion. I would say that when I played against her, I thought her teams always had the greatest scouts. That, in my opinion, only shows how well-versed she was in the game and how adept she was at analysis. She was obviously onto something. With any luck, now that she knows how to stop us, she will also know how to help us overcome some obstacles. Before being selected 21st overall by the now-defunct Charlotte Sting, White, an Indiana native, played NCAA basketball at Purdue and high school basketball in the state. When the Fever won the WNBA title in 2012, the new head coach was an assistant coach under Lynn Dunn and a four-year player for the team. White had previously been the head coach of the Connecticut Sun for the previous two seasons and the team in 2015 and 2016. At what he saw as a pivotal moment in women's sports, White will now coach one of the biggest names in women's basketball. Additionally, working with those guys in Kelsey Mitchell, who has, in my opinion, endured the maelstrom of Indiana Fever basketball, and I thought she had, the best season of her career. And in reality, when you think of teams, you think of a big three and a core three. And it couldn't have come at a better time to be able to work with those big three and keep working and assembling components around them in order to contend for a championship in my home state. We've been waiting for this time. Therefore, I'm not sure if you embrace it or prepare for it. Embrace where we are, White stated in an NBA Today interview regarding coaching at such a critical juncture. Consider the momentum going forward, the goals we have for this league, and the future we still hope to achieve. Just seize the opportunity, seize the moment, keep improving this team and this franchise, and set ourselves up for success. Right now, there is a lot of optimism for the Fever's future. However, when ESPN reporter Michael Vopel published a piece on Monday featuring Clark's intriguing remarks about perhaps playing in the proposed Women's Basketball League, it gave the women's basketball community as a whole hope. Tom Friend of the Sports Business Journal said on October 31st that Clark is leaning 6-0-4-0 to accept a spot in the Unrivaled. Although this was a fantastic result, it wasn't until Vopel's ESPN article on Monday that Clark publicly announced her decision. Given Clark's lack of commitment, there has been a lot of conjecture over the league's ability to entice him. Vopel said that Clark stated on Monday that she did not have a timeline for making a decision. Regarding the choice to play in Unrivaled, Clark stated in the article, "We'll see. I'm simply taking things as they come. Eventually see if I want to play." Granted, she seems unsure of herself, and Clark isn't saying much here. Fans anticipating Unrivaled on Monday, however, should be pleased that she is willing to admit that she is still considering it. Stephanie White, the new coach of the Indiana Fever, has two duties for the WNBA season that are similar and comprehensive. In order for the Fever to win games and contend for titles, which would be fantastic for the brand, the primary objective is to nurture the team's young talent, especially star Caitlyn Clark. Indeed, it's intriguing because I've been able to observe it from the sideline with her for a long time. And last year, I will always remember calling a game at Maryland. And for the first time, I was staying at the same hotel as them. And it must have been 3 or perhaps 3.5 hours before the game when I descended the escalator. The lobby was also packed. I believe the only other time I've seen that was at an NBA or NFL game. And after that, the hotel lobby is cordoned off and crowded. And that was in Maryland. Additionally, the gym is a mile and a half away when I leave to head over and conduct my commentary duties 3.5 hours before the game. My travel time was 45 minutes. It was insane. It was crazy. And, you know, calling her games while traveling in a packed venue and witnessing the excitement for the first time, I suppose you could call her Taylor Swift 2.0. It seemed as though we had arrived at this point. Additionally, this might be the first time we've noticed the collegiate influence. The WNBA just finished its best season ever, setting records for retail sales, television ratings, attendance, and general popularity. It was driven by the rise of a stellar rookie class, which was inevitably headed by Clark. Fans, sponsors, and the media have taken notice of the Iowa rookie, who is the Tiger Woods of women's basketball, after previously showing only a passing interest. But it can only continue, much alone grow, if Clark is playing at her best, both in terms of production and her unique style of play in Indiana, is playing in important games and long playoff runs. White, a Purdue alumnus and native of Indiana, has been assigned to assist in making this happen. In addition to coaching the Fever from 201-516 Vanderbilt in college, and most recently the Connecticut Sun, where she won League Coach of the Year in 2023, she played in the WNBA for 5 seasons. She covered Clark's Iowa games as a broadcaster as well. She is aware of the possibilities. I talked to Caitlyn last night, White told ESPN over the weekend, and I believe it was just enthusiasm in general. It's been a great moment for me to be working with Caitlyn and this young team, and I've been watching her play since she was in the 8th grade when I was coaching in the collegiate level and covering her games. She's learning the game, White continued. She's a huge basketball fan. Her handling of all the attention has been excellent. All she wants to do is play. She only wants to win, and I'm excited to teach athletes like that, as well as this young squad and franchise as we move forward. The following phases are important. This season, Indiana ended their 7-year playoff drought, but White's Sun swept them in the opening round. More is what the Fever desire. More is needed by the WNBA. Therefore, it's amazing to be able to be here at this crucial time. I truly have no words to describe it. Because this is what we had in mind when I was coaching that number 24 here, and we were just establishing this Indiana Fever team. I'm just really thrilled and appreciative to be able to contribute to it on this side and help elevate it. Clark has a tremendous impact on television ratings. ESPN claims that the WNBA Finals, 728,000 views on average in 2023. Even without Caitlyn Clark, the 2024 Finals attracted 1.6 million viewers, a 115% increase, while all games on ESPN ABC averaged 1.2 million viewers a year later, according to ESPN. How astounding are these numbers? Take into account that on average 1.56 million people watch NBA games on ESPN, ABC, and TNT between 2023 and 2024. Clark and the Fever played in 21 games with over 1 million viewers during the 2024 regular season, and 5 of those games had more than 2.45 million. The WNBA draft attracted a record amount of viewers. A record of 3.44 million people watched the WNBA All-Star Game. Revenue, advertising, ticket sales, and corporate sponsorship all increased as a result of this. Teams started taking flights that were chartered. With more cities fighting for a seat, the WNBA has announced plans for future expansion in San Francisco, Portland, and Toronto. For a 27-year-old league that was previously having trouble and was heavily subsidized by the NBA, business is beginning to improve. Even though Caitlyn Clark was a rookie on the first-team All-WNBA, there are undoubtedly many outstanding players and teams in the league, including players who perform better than Clark. None, though, have been the draw. Before Tiger Woods took the PGA Tour to new heights of fame, it had many great players. This happens. The sport must take advantage of the good fortune that comes with having a celebrity like that. Thanks in part to her recent journey to the NCAA championship game, where her Iowa Hawkeyes lost to South Carolina in front of 18.9 million spectators, Clark immediately made a difference. One WNBA success story, though, was that despite Indiana's poor start 1-8, fans continued to be engaged. In addition to helping the team win, Clark was able to blend in and set records with a number of outstanding passes and Logo 3 jumpers. Throughout the summer, Clark performed the songs that the audience expects to see. White must now stress it, since the WNBA has plenty of room for growth, in addition to the fact that the Fever have an amazing young core of talent, which includes 2023 WNBA Rookie of the Year Aaliyah Boston. Throughout the 1990s, Michael Jordan would have continued to be Michael Jordan, but the Chicago Bulls' excellent coaching and ability to put together complementary teams twice allowed the NBA to capitalize on his abilities and win 6 titles. For the benefit of Indiana and the WNBA, Clark should play to her full potential as a top 5 player in the league. And with an entertaining, high-octane style,